This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Rita, let's go to Texas and find out what the heck is going on.
Absolutely. And who better than Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne from the great state of Texas. And Congresswoman, fill us in on what's going on there, because one of the big things we're dealing with here, you probably heard this, the New York State Legislature is pushing and has agreed, they've passed this bill that makes New York State essentially a sanctuary state. No masks also on ice. Can you believe this? They can't operate in public places like hospitals and parks. You can't make this up.
Well, look, and they're not enforcing the laws, and now they're going to try to prevent the federal government from enforcing the laws. Good luck with that. We have seen what has happened to cities left and right, where you've got criminals that are within the streets. They know that there is no enforcement, and what happens? Crime increases, deaths increase, robberies, rapes. Congratulations, New York. This is why everybody is fleeing your pathetic, sad state. And by the way, when you guys decide that you've had enough in New York, come on down to Dallas, come on down to Texas, and you will have a very welcoming crowd here.
What's growing faster, Florida or Texas?
I think Texas won when they looked at what is the race for U-Haul vans. You know, people who are coming here were like the ultimate destination for a U-Haul van. I think it was in Texas. I think we came in number one last year.
And what's the third? What's the number 3 state then?
Probably Tennessee.
Yeah, I was thinking like Tennessee or the Carolinas, maybe.
That way, yes. You're halfway to paradise.
That's right.
I can tell you the states that they're not, right?
Yes.
All the states that are not.
Illinois,
New York,
California, and New York State.
Exactly right. So yeah, these states can continue to ignore the law, put their constituents' lives at risk. And they're going to continue to lose people to states that actually, appreciate safety, appreciate, abiding by the laws that are passed legally. And, for this party that has fought for so long to have masks, remember this? They were firing people in the military, firing people in the government, forcing masks on healthcare workers, you name it. And now all of a sudden, no, you can't have masks. It means that it was a complete sham. And it is all about power. And God love him, this is the reason why people are leaving your state.
Beth Van Duyne, this is sort of also a bittersweet anniversary, isn't it? For I think you were with us, in fact, last year. Ava Moore, talk about that case.
Oh, it is just such a sad case. So Ava Moore lived in North Texas, and last year at this time she was with friends over at Lake Grapevine, enjoying the Memorial Day weekend, and she got run over by a person who was illegally in our country, who instead of trying to render aid to this woman, the illegal criminal immigrant, took off, left her there, took off. She got in the car with her boyfriend. They hit other cars on the way out. She was ultimately arrested and charged with this crime. But as a result, this beautiful young woman died. Now, I had an opportunity and honor to be able to cross paths with her, because she had applied to be part of our Air Force Academy. And so she was an inspiration to others. I have kept in touch with her family. I attended a memorial over at her high school where they talked about how important she was to them. She was just preparing to be like one of America's best Air Force officers. And this is what she wanted to do. She was a leader. She was an athlete. And she loved this country, and she was beloved by so many. And this time last year, she just carelessly, her life was lost because we had an administration that refused, like you're seeing in New York, to actually enforce our laws. So, I'm still grieving for her loss. I mean, God bless. Please keep your family in your prayers, especially on this day of the 1-year anniversary of her passing.
Yeah, absolutely. And sadly, there are so many families like that across the country. You're not hearing anything different from Democrats. If anything, they're doubling and tripling down. I mean, you know what I'm thinking about in Texas on the Democratic side, you got this Tallarico guy, and he's on record there, Beth, saying New York, Texas should essentially be an open porch, come one, come all. I mean, that's scary. This is what's happening on the Democratic side.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's basically what he has said is, if you are a Christian, you believe in welcome that at our border. I'm sorry, but if you're a Christian, you actually believe that laws have meaning. You believe that there is your respect for life. And they are doubling down on their craze. And I think this is why they lost last year. I believe this is why they're going to lose in the midterm. But this is these crazy thoughts are not without danger. They're not without risk. You have seen, how many different attempts on our president's life, how many hate crimes have been committed, and this is what they're learning. This is what they're learning from our media. This is what they're learning in school. This is what they're learning from politicians that continue to beat the drum of America is bad. Being somebody who loves our country is bad. Being white is bad. Being a male is bad. Being a Republican is horrible. You're compared to being a Nazi. You're compared to being a demon, a devil. And it's no wonder that it is really inspiring people to turn to violence. It is a shame. I can't believe it's happening in our country. And instead of Democrats taking accountability and changing this horrible, hateful rhetoric, they are doubling down and making it even worse.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you just saw what happened at the White House earlier this week.
Yeah, it is
horrible.
It is. It's inciting. I agree. Beth Van Duyne, thank you so much. We always love having you on here, and we're thinking of Ava Moore's family. Thank you so much, Beth.
Thank you so much.
And you all enjoy your Memorial Day.
And we love Texas.
Yes.
And we love you.
And by the way, the big discussion.
I love my country, and I love you all.
By the way, the big discussion is the masculinity crisis in America. And we'll talk to you about that next time. And I want to make sure it's not that's crisis of masculinity doesn't happen in Texas.
By the way, you want to talk about the crisis of masculinity? This actually may be turning around. If you think about the military recruitment that we had under the Biden administration versus the Trump administration, keep in mind that now the Army signed more than 61,500 future soldiers to reach its goal roughly 4 months ahead. Okay?
That's awesome.
And the Air Force met its annual goal of 32,000 recruits. This is 5 months ahead of schedule. This is the first time that you were seeing this in years.
They love this. They love this commander in chief.
We got General Holt on the other line, and we promised him we got to go to the general. And thank you so much,
Thank you, Beth.
We love you.
Thank you.